Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Manuel, and welcome to another episode of Nights at the Round Table. Today, we're going to talk to legendary comedian and actor, Sinbad. Look, we wanted to talk to Sinbad because he has this wealth of knowledge. I'm telling you, this guy drops so many gems in this podcast. I promise, you are going to enjoy this episode and learn so much about what it takes to have a long career, one in which you can be proud of. Hey, and don't forget, go to YouTube, subscribe, all that good stuff. Spread the word. We love you guys so much. We hope you enjoy this episode. Here's Nights at the Round Table. And welcome to another episode of Nights at the Round Table. It's your boy, Man Weezy. I got my queen. I got Be Real and NoHo. And we got the infamous Sinbad. What up, Sinbad? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you guys doing?
Well, we out here just Rona and chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's good. That's good. That's
just
good.
Living our life, enjoying it.
I feel like we are so lucky to have a direct connection to this wealth of knowledge and wisdom and experience and joy that is this legendary man, Sinbad himself. Like, the fact that I can FaceTime Sinbad anytime I want is, I'm like one of the luckiest people ever, especially like being a comedian in this other generation coming up under you. I am so grateful that you are family and you are on our podcast right now.
Yeah.
I feel like a dead man the way you just talked about me. I feel like I'm a dead sage. I feel like
it's a moment of silence, everybody.
Yeah,
that was the eulogy.
Honestly, before we started recording, I was telling my wife, I was like, man, this is gonna be like one of the biggest flexes on my dad. Like, my dad introduced me to you. And
wow.
I remember one of the first movies that I remember watching with my dad was First Kid. And I was just like, oh, man, Sinbad's so dope, man. This is amazing. And so it's truly an honor, man, to meet you under these circumstances.
And then you grew up like,
cool.
Sinbad who? Sinbad who? See, when they're young, they claim you. They get old. Man, I ain't never like Sinbad. Nah, man, I was a kid.
Yo, we're about to watch First Kid again so I can introduce Elijah to it. Right after we watched Cool Runnings. Yeah. I was like, oh, we got to watch First Kid.
Y'all watching Cool Runnings?
Yeah, we watched Cool Runnings a couple months ago.
Dude, Cool Runnings is a classic.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
There's a list of like 10, 15 movies when people get into your circle that if you bring the movie up, they don't know it, you have to stop right away. No. You got to watch this. We can't just, because your education was not complete. We can't continue. I'm serious. Like, if you haven't watched Blade, if you haven't watched, all the Denzel movies, man. You know, Man on Fire. If you haven't watched Man on Fire, and you can't say, I wish you had more time, and you don't know what that means, I can't F with you, man.
Yeah. No,
I can't.
Exactly. You know, one of the most hilarious conversations I had with Sinbad was when I think it was maybe maybe second or third time we hung out. Paigey brought me. We were having dinner over there in Santa Monica. What's that fancy restaurant you like to go to over there? That's on the one. The
Vietnamese one.
It was for your birthday.
Man, what was it?
I forgot the name of it.
Was it the Vietnamese? Come on, God, man, why am I? You know it, Angela. The Vietnamese one, the one everybody goes to.
In Santa Monica?
It was right over there by the Third Street Promenade.
No, that's Beverly Hills.
Vietnamese food, so
it's Beverly Hills. What is the one in Santa Monica?
Like
I don't know if it was like Pier 50. Is there a Pier 51 over there?
A Pier something. A 52, season 52.
Season 52s.
We
were there.
That's it, man.
I freshly came. This is when True Religions were the junk, right? I freshly came off of buying some True Religions.
Yeah.
And I was telling Sinbad about
it. $500 jeans.
Yes.
The first brother. I said, what's wrong with this brother?
Yes. So I was telling Sinbad, I was like, yo, I just got these jeans. And he was like, how much they cost? I was like, it's like close to $500. And he was just like, let me tell you about where jeans come from. Jeans were poor person clothes. You see, when we used to work back in the days, this was a working man's clothes. Like, people who had money didn't wear jeans. They wore fabrics, like other fabrics that were nicer. Jeans were the poor guy's clothes that became popular. After work, they would go to the bars, they would go to the clubs, they'd go whatever, but they have no nice pants to change into so they would wear their jeans. So back then when they came out, these were working man clothes. Now he's laughing at me because he's like, you just paid $500 for poor people clothes.
and that you was slave, like you're a sharecropper. Them sharecropper clothes, man.
Yeah. I was like, and look, this is one of the things that always impressed me about you was that one thing I learned really quick, which, is really the apex of this podcast, what we're talking about is compromise. Like when you get into your dream, when you get into the flow or find the thing that you want to do, if you don't decide to build your walls of what you will do, what you won't do, where you will go, where you won't go, by the time you get in the game, whatever your game is, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's acting, music, modeling, banking, whatever. If you don't have your moral compass decided before you go into it, it is very easy to compromise your life. So one thing that I learned quickly from Sinbad when I started hanging out with him and his family was that everybody was educated. If you see his stand-up, it's so quick-witted, it's so whatever. 9 times out of 10, I don't know when he starts his stand-up because he doesn't have a start. He just starts talking. And 15 minutes in, you're like, I'm in the show. We're already in the show right now. And he never does anything the same thing. There's never 2 shows that I've gone to that he said the same thing. He's just talking. And then when I look at the behind the scenes, the difference between Sinbad and a lot of people is that he's always learning. He's like insanely intelligent. As much as you may think the comedy is just, oh, this is just off the hip and off whatever. Like there's an insane amount of intelligence, which then leads me to so many conversations that we've been able to have on your career and the things that you could have done, but you chose not to for all reasons that you, to this day, like we were talking
Maybe
about.
I should have.
That you should have.
Maybe I should have.
But
I'd
you
be in a bigger house.
but you don't really regret. So talk to us about that. Talk to us like when you enter the game, give a little bit of backstory. I know maybe some people don't know that you're a comedian, that not a comedian, that we're in the Army and all that stuff. How you got into it, and what was the foundation that you had that made you decide, hey, no matter what, these are the things I'm going to stick to.
Okay, for me, when everybody goes like, well, compromising comedy, but it started way before comedy. I mean, I look at Angela's stuff. You had a life before being a comedian. You have a mother, father, whatever, that gave you some advice in life. What is your fiber? What is your moral code? See, what is your moral code sets up everything that you'll do for the rest of your life. Moral code is everything, and how much you'll stick to it. So like, growing up as a kid, man, I had a great mother and father, but my life sucked as trying to find my spot, not fitting in and being talked about and how hard I had to work. And I remember I told my dad one time, I said, I don't think anything is for me. I said, I don't think anything. I wanted to be a pro basketball player, man, but I could hardly play. But I worked at it, and I worked at it, and I worked at it, and I got good, then I got better. And I said, Dad, I had to learn how to jump. I had to learn. I said, what's my gift? Some people got gift of speed, quickness. He said, your gift is persistence. I said, that sucks. There's no superhero named Persistent Man. That means you get beat up until you don't get beat up no more. I thought that was the worst superpower ever. But as I got older, I said, man, there's a book out now called Grit to Great, and another book called Grit. And they found out the common denominator for anybody being successful, we don't know all the steps why some people become successful or not, but everyone that's successful has grit. Even if you don't like their talent, even if you don't like what they do, they work hard at sucking. They work hard at it. So all I can tell people is, I don't know where your success level go, but if you don't work hard, it's not gonna happen for you. You've got to work hard. So my mother said to me when I got ready to go out to Hollywood, and she said, all money's not good money. And she says, have a line that you won't cross, but you got to know that line before you get there, because that's the line they're going to test, because this is the devil's playground. When you go to Hollywood, I was talking to you, Manny, everything's a devil's playground. Whether I work for Pepsi or a corporation or whatever, there's some evil involved in all of it. But Hollywood, because Hollywood's so beautiful, man. Hollywood's so sparkly, and you want this stuff. And everybody's talk is very ego driven. So everybody, when you get good, everybody wants a piece of you, but you realize you ain't better than these other people. You just have a skill set that maybe you might even have the best skill set, but at least you were bold enough to do your skill set. There's a lot of people say, man, I'll sing him. I said, well, I don't see you on stage. So until you get on stage, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about how somebody's better than somebody else, but you won't try. But now they call that Instagram influencers. So they trying. And they're winning. But I don't want to go that route. I want to have what my talent does. So when I got to Hollywood, I knew what I would not. Remember, I was older. I had been in the Air Force. I got kicked out the Air Force. I played college ball. By the time I got to Hollywood, this was the easiest gig I ever had. And I saw people breaking down and crying, man. I was like, man, please, we're doing what we love. On a bad day, this is a good day.
Yeah.
On my worst day, this is my best day compared to my past life. So when I got here, and when they tested me, I said, please, really? Look at you. I don't want to be you. I just want to do what I do. And I'm not going through that door to get it when there's another door over here. And that's why I think when you're faith, I'm very faith-based. So, like I'm that militant Christian. I'm not going to be one of those people, hey, I believe in just doing Christian comedy. I'm not that guy. I'm a Christian, but I'm a Christian warrior. I think I'm a preacher's kid, but I'm the ones like this. Kick him out the choir. You got to get your son out the choir. Your son has got to get out the choir. He's going to destroy this choir. So I was that kind of person. I was always pushing the limits, like, how far can I go to the line of Christianity and secular? Without getting burned, you know what I'm saying? How can I put my hand? Oh, okay. I went too far. That's what I'm like this. I'm competing with secular dudes, and you ain't gonna beat me.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. I'm like an all-star warrior. I'm like this. You ain't gonna beat. I'm not gonna hide behind, well, I could have made more money if I wasn't a Christian. No, I'm gonna be funny, and if God chooses not to give it to me, but I'm not gonna be less funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Christian. What does that say for God? All my comics suck, but they're good people. No, I want to be funny, man. So I just had doors. There was things. Now, I told you yesterday, man, I wanted everything. I wanted the big house. I wanted the jets. There's a book, remember a book called The Rob Report?
Yeah, The Rob Report, yep.
Oh. Yeah, The Rob Report has private islands you can buy and charter. Dude, I used to read that every month. I would go to the book stand and I'd go through The Rob Report and I circled the island I was going to buy and I circled the house I was going to get and I write the year I was going to get it. Well, each year I had to push the year back. Then I had to push the year back. And then one day I just quit. I think I got frustrated. I quit reading the book. I said, maybe this is not for me. And I didn't realize, am I giving up or am I accepting something? Because I'm still supposed to believe I can get this, right? If I'm being positive, right? But then I had to look at it a different way, man. I just said, maybe everything ain't for you. And maybe God knows what I can't handle. I thought I could handle it. I like to think I'm ready, God, now. Right. I am ready for the jet. I am ready for the jet, God. Maybe not at 45, but if you give it to me now, I'll go to the right places.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Man, that's good. Maybe everything is not for you. Like maybe you don't like to think that way because everyone likes to think that
no
they can handle everything.
Because you're told, remember, when you read all the books on positive thinking, everything you want you can have. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. And that's how I saw it. But I think when you're a Christian, sometimes our dreams like, nah, you can't handle that one. I said, well, why don't you give me a list of what I can handle so I don't at least dream about it? Can you just give me the stuff I ain't gonna get so I could go? No, I'm not gonna tell you. Go ahead and keep chasing it. And then you start realizing, as I got older, I said, I'm all right. If we take the money, let's take the money out the equation. Let's take the house out the equation. When I look at people with a lot of money and big houses, do I want his whole life? No. Because I'm around. I want your house, I want your car. If you can just get that to me and go live your miserable life, I'm cool.
Yeah.
But no, I don't want your whole life. I want your house and I want your car. And so at the end of the day, I pay rent. I got cars I can drive that I love. I'm a kid from Benton Harbor, Michigan. I wasn't supposed to be here. Like LeBron James says, I wasn't supposed to be here. In whatever fashion it is, I was able to take my mother and father around the world. I was able to buy them a house. When I first became a comic, I told my dad, I'm not coming back. Because I messed up so much, Angela. I had messed up so much. I said, I couldn't promise no more. I said, look, I'm not coming back till I can buy your house. Now remember, a house in Michigan cost $35,000 back then. So the mortgage wasn't big. So I came off the road, I went to the bank, and I bought his house.
Wow.
And then I bought him a house on the lake.
Oh, wow.
So I had the big house we could all come to. And I said, that to me, that was my moment. That was my moment. Like, I paid my mother and father back for some of that dumbness.
Wow. That's so good, man. Babe,
Man, I wish my mom lived in Michigan or somewhere I could buy her.
I know, right? She got to live in freaking the
My mom lives in San Jose,
Most
California,
expensive.
Silicon Valley, next to Google, next to Facebook.
that little ass house is
Wow.
like $800,000. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh! Right?
But your mama lives.
That's the most
Your mama
expensive place right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But think about it, your mom lives, okay, let's go straight. When I came to LA back in 84, 85, I used to party in Sunnyvale at a place called Rooster Teeth
That's
Feathers.
right.
No, remember, nobody wanted to be out there. Nobody wanted to be in San Jose. Did not want anybody to be in Sunnyvale. There was Santa Clara? Please. The BART didn't even go out there. They didn't want y'all getting on the bus and train to come into the city.
Now look at
It was godless land. It was godless land.
Look at
and
that.
then the rich people see godless land go like this. Oh, we can get this for nothing.
Yeah.
Now I can't even afford a storage unit over there. I can't even. I'm like, listen, Mom, I'm gonna need you to hold on to your house for a little while longer.
I know.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
I know. Don't give it up. No one saw that coming.
yo, so like, well, if you can say, do you, yeah, I was watching a show. Oh, it was The Rock. He posted his last post. One of his fans asked him, what was the run role that you went for that the one role that you went for that you really, really wanted, but you didn't get,
Ooh,
and someone else got.
ooh, what was it? What
And
did he
so
say?
his role was Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
That Tom
Wait.
Cruise.
What's what?
I mean, I'm not Jack Ryan. Jack Reacher.
That
Really?
Tom
He
Cruise?
wanted Jack Reacher, and he went for it. Auditioned. Really wanted
Wow.
that bad, but
Wow.
Tom Cruise got it. But
As he
because
should
he didn't get Reacher, he ended up trying out and getting Hobbs.
Hobbs, yeah,
Ooh.
Fast and Furious,
So,
which is
okay.
now
Which now
opened
he's a
up
part
ton
of
doors
2
for him.
franchises
Yeah.
that are way
Yes.
bigger than
Yes.
Reacher. So, same question to you. What was the one role that you wanted so bad that you went for that you didn't get?
You know, I'm going to tell a story that a lot of people don't know. I did a TV show called Vibe. I didn't want to host a talk show.
Right.
I'm like, man, no, I'm here to make movies. I don't want to be on TV every night because I think it's hard to transition from being a TV host every night and then making movies because people see you too much. Plus, I don't want to work like that. That's working 9 to 5. I like doing comedy. I like making movies. I found this script that Columbia TriStar had that sat on the shelf. So when Quincy Jones would ask me to do Vibe, Columbia TriStar was doing Vibe. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll do Vibe for 8 months. You give me this movie. They said, bet. And to make it real, they gave me a pay or play. They offered me millions of dollars that if it didn't get done, they would pay me the money. I said, who is going to offer that kind of money and then not do it with me? Dude, I'm doing Vibe. And I think somebody at Columbia TriStar said, wait a minute. And this movie, now remember this movie, it was like It Takes a Thief. It was the Crown Heights affair. I said, I'm gonna just switch it up, man. I was gonna get cut up, get sexy. The first scene where I'm a thief, I'm coming down this rope, I was gonna be cut up. This is gonna be Sinbad's Bad Boys. I said, okay, I missed the early 90s, they didn't get me. This is my second run, this is 1998, right? Right after Jingle All the Way. Somebody at Columbia TriStar said, hey, wait a minute. We didn't pay attention to this movie. We could try it with Sinbad, or we could give it to Martin Lawrence. It was Blue Streak.
Blue Streak, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they took that movie, paid me my money, and they gave it. I don't think Martin ever knows. And I said, you know what that means to you? Y'all saw me as so little that you paid me money. It's like being an athlete that they pay money to leave the team. Look, we'll give you your $25 million buyout. Just don't come to practice.
Oh, wow.
And that was probably one of my lowest points. That was my lowest point in Hollywood. I was like, because after that, I didn't work for a long time. I was like, I thought that was my back end. I said, God, I found it. And then when I lost that was my last movie for a long time.
Wow.
And then 2000 came, I said, okay, well, I'll get something. I said, my thing was, ain't no way in the world they're going to let me not work for a year. Ain't no way in the world they ain't going to let me work for 3 years. ain't no way in the world they're going to let me not work for 5 years. I said, I haven't worked in 10 years.
Wow.
And I became an older man. I said, oh my God, am I done? And I never thought that way. I said, am I done? And I still haven't done a third of what I want to do. That's what people don't realize. I haven't done a third of what's in my dream book, but I learned something. I think somebody took something from me, and God kept telling me, I need you to write. I told you what to do. You got more thoughts in your head than the stuff that they have for you. I said, yeah, but that one was my opportunity. He goes, okay, fight me. Fight me. I told Manny, I feel like Moses in the desert, just walking around. This movie? No. This movie? No. Can I get a talk show? No. Can I do an infomercial? No. Write it. So now that I'm with my family and we started a production company together, my wife is running it, and my son and my daughter, my son's a director extraordinaire. Paige is writing, not just singing. Paige is writing her butt off. And now I'm telling them what to do, and I said, well, it's time for me to do what I'm telling them. And I went back, I found all this stuff, all these old movies I wrote, and these movies I have found and scripts I found, and I told my son, we're doing these. I won't live long enough to do all of them, but I want to give them to them that you guys can even sell these. I said, these were the ideas I had in 1990, 91, 92, 93, when they thought I was crazy.
Wow.
The things I want to do, they're like, please.
Wow.
Sometimes if you're too far ahead what you're talking about, I remember a guy told me it's better to be this far ahead than this far ahead. This far ahead to go, oh God, that's genius. This far ahead, he out of his damn mind. Genius, out of his mind.
Wow.
You'd rather be genius, not out your mind.
Man, see,
there's no bragging rights out your mind.
Man, that's kind of, man. Brandon, I know you're not an actor, but has there ever been something that you wanted so bad that you really worked for and it didn't pan out, but then something ended up on the other side of it?
Yeah, this is my senior year of college. I'm playing basketball at Cal, and I'm prime, and I kind of need to have a good season because my junior season I suffered a major concussion that put me back almost like two months.
Wow.
And that was depressing because you work so hard, you're in shape, practice, all this, and then you get the concussion, and now you literally are falling out of shape as the season is happening. So junior year kind of felt like a bust for me. I mean, we still made the NCAA tournament. I'm still starting on the team, but what I feel like I'm capable of, it's not happening. So senior year, I got like a lot riding on that because my thought process is I want to go play pro after this, you know? And again, probably chances of playing NBA, probably not looking good at that point, you know? And so senior year happens, another concussion, man. And I remember laying on the floor after that concussion, and I just started crying on the floor because I knew what this meant. And
it was done.
It's like, I'm thinking of my future already. And it's a moment, probably happened like I was maybe on the floor for a minute, but you know those moments where it's like time ceases to be a thing and you were going through all these different paths in your mind. And so I'm thinking, man, these are probably my chances done playing pro basketball. And so I remember when I came back from the injury, I'm working hard and stuff. And I went back on actually what I felt like God promised me years before. Like even before playing pro ball was on the table, this woman who I'd never met started prophesying over me. It was a crazy experience. I'm a junior in high school. I walk into this room and she goes, you play basketball, you're going to receive a Division I scholarship to go play basketball at your college of choice. And someday you're going to sign a contract to play pro basketball. And so during this time as a senior, I'm just going back to, I'm like, God, you promised me. So this is on you. I've done everything I can. Like, this is out of my hands. And so I'm like, this is on you. And so I ended up coming back, and then an old family friend represented me. He's my agent, and I signed my first contract to play pro basketball. And deeper than me signing the contract, I think it put something in my spirit that I'm like, oh, I could trust him and his promises. And when times look like it's not going according to how I envision this, the only thing that I can rely on is what he said. And has been one of those things, even this time now going, I was just sharing with Ange, obviously with the lockdown shutting a lot of stuff down, there was a work opportunity for me that got shut down. And weeks before the quarantine, God spoke to me and he promised me, he's like, hey, you and your family, you're going to thrive in this season. And so I started feeling my heart getting overwhelmed. And it was funny because I was thinking about that situation as a senior, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take him back on his word.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
challenge him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
God came through, and another opportunity came up for me, which was even better than the one before that I thought I lost. And so it's always crazy, man. When that situation's come around, I'm always going back to passages like Psalm 103 of like just feeding on the faithfulness of God. I'm like, he's come through for me every single season of my life where I thought things weren't working out according to plan. And I come back on his word. I come back on what he's done. And then somehow, some way, something better opens up for me. So,
And it's funny. I think it all goes back to what we're saying: a lack of compromise. Because when you begin this faith walk, I kind of feel like this faith walk is really, I've learned, it's kind of one of those shit or get off the pot type things. You are either all in, or you're just be out. If you're not all in, just get the hell out. There's no reason to be here if you're not going to trust him and believe in all things in your career, in your dream, as you're moving in. The best that you can do is make decisions based on the information you have right in front of you. Because like Sinbad, he didn't know that there was going to be a decade of no work. He only knew what was right in front of him and what he could and couldn't do, and the wisdom he had at that moment. Did not know that this decade of wondering was going to even happen. But before even getting into it, there had to been a decision to make that this is the type of person that I'm going to be. This is where my faith is going to land. This is where my beliefs are going to extend to. And anything outside of that, I cannot allow to shape the way I think, or it's going to mess me up. You know what I'm saying? So faith has to be faith truly in the good and in the bad times, because if it's only faith in the good times, then it's like, I don't even think it's faith at that point. I just think it's
not faith. No, that's a fair weather friend.
It's just celebrating obvious good things.
Yeah. You know what? Faith is like this. You're hanging onto a slippery rock, and God said, I'm not going to let you fall. You said, well, I'm kind of slipping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you said I'm not going to fall, I'm going to hang here, and I'm going to tell everybody upstairs, just meet me downstairs. I think I'm going to be all right. Because faith doesn't count. Knowing faith feels good is when you said, okay, God. It's the people don't understand. You can talk to God. I'm like, I got ADHD, so it's hard for me to sit and pray, because I'll be praying and then something else will happen. I forget I was praying. So my brain is wired. But I said, God, you gave me this brain, so you can't get mad at me. So my dad used to tell me I was young, well, just talk to him all day. My wife would catch me. I'll be in the car. I think my phone is off. You know how sometimes you dial somebody by accident, and she thinks I'm in the car with somebody, but I'm talking to myself. There's even a book called Self-Talk. I talk to myself. So I talk to God not like, oh, they are. People got these. I used to always respect people who had those deep prayers when you would let them pray. I'm like this. Man, I like how he phrased, and the task before me, the Alpha, the Omega. I'm gonna like this. God, I'm about to run out of gas here. But hey, we're gonna be right. We're gonna be okay. I mean, you can make this car run with no gas. I ain't trying to judge you, but you can make this car go with no gas. That'd be a great testimony for me if you let me get to where I'm going. And then the car ran out of gas. Oh, okay, you must know I'm in better shape than I am. So I'll walk the rest of the way. But on that walk, I saw something I wasn't supposed to see that helped me. Because yours, like your story, like you said, you go from the concussion, you still get the contract. Well, my story was nothing came on the other side, I thought. But no, he said, look at you. You're still making money. You still work every weekend. You have no TV show. You have nothing out new, and you're selling out rooms. And you tell me you have nothing? And I said, oh my God, I just took for granted that's what I was supposed to do. I just took for granted this is what I'm supposed to do. But now I look at it, it's a blessing. And if I go in the city sometimes, Angela, it is not sold out, I said, that's cool. I'll be back again. I'll come back a different way. I said, because it didn't make me not funny. I said, or maybe I shouldn't come to the city. I've told my agent sometimes, why would you book me there? Because they get greedy sometimes. We know better than them. Why would you book me there? I'm in the heart of Clanville. Why do you have me here? Because you know what I'm saying on stage, one of them going to die, or I'm going to die. But it worked out. It worked out. Like I said, I lost. Okay, when I got Jingle All the Way, I was supposed to go to Bosnia. That's when I went to Bosnia with Hillary Clinton, and I busted everybody about we weren't getting shot at. when Obama was running for president, I was the one that called the paper and told him what
Oh,
happened.
wow.
So it's all the quotes. Everybody was going crazy. I mean, what'd you do? I said, I was on the plane. I was on the jet. What do I get shot at? So I told the whole story. But Jingle All the Way, they were looking for, they weren't looking for me, but Arnold's agent was also an agent at my agency. He said, Arnold, you got to get with Sinbad. You need somebody big that's funny, and y'all can play off each other. So, but I was going to Bosnia on that Saturday. I would come back to Wednesday. The audition was on a Monday. And so the director was, I don't know, I heard he's hard to work with. He likes to wear his earrings. I said, they come out right. It's funny how people talk crazy. I said, I can take the earrings out. They come out. So I said, I'm not going to tell these guys I'm not coming to Boston. I'm not telling these soldiers I'm not coming. So I said, then I won't get the audition. They said, what? I just won't get the audition. I'm not doing that. Well, Arnold said, hold off. So it's the first time I ever dressed up for audition, because at that point, I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I had a pilt helmet. I had a mailman's outfit. I had the socks. I had the shorts. I had a mail bag. I'm sitting, waiting to audition. I told my brother, I quit. I'm looking at what I got. I quit. I swear to God, I quit. I'm serious. I quit. So another guy comes out with the exact same mailman outfit on. I go, oh, God. Oh, God. So I walk in the room, but he had at least the winter outfit. We're going to shoot the movie in Minneapolis. All they had was the short set. So I walk in the room, Arnold, it's going to be cold in Minneapolis. And the papers fell out my hand. I'm auditioning. They blew out my hand across the table.
Oh, no.
So I said, forget this. I just jumped on the table and started screaming, going crazy, playing the part of mailman. I'm going off on Arnold. He jumps back from the table. So now I'm like, I ain't getting this part no way. So I go all the way in. I go all the way crazy. I said, thank you. And I walk out the audition. I told my brother, I took the mail bag, I threw the ground. I quit. I'm taking the hat off. I quit. We're not even off the lot yet. They call my brother. We don't want to see anybody else. We want your brother. I said, okay, I don't quit. They said, so in my craziest moment, I think when you don't give a F, that's when great things happen. When you really say, God, hey, I don't even want this.
Yeah.
I don't even want this. I don't care. When you do that, that's when usually, and after that moment, I've never cared about getting the part. I go in, I read, and I leave. And I really don't care. I know what I did. I can't be that guy no more. Oh, God, I need this.
Right.
I hope, this could be changed. This could change my life. Everything changes your life. When the lottery changes your life, everything changes your life. But there's no one defining moment that killed it. You can come back from almost anything.
That's good.
Everything can change your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Everything.
That's perspective.
I have
Yeah.
a few stories myself of parts that I didn't get that I wanted, and there is, when we were talking about not compromising for something, and I don't regret this decision, because I try not to hold on to regret in my life and my body, but this is one of those things where anytime we see this movie, we both go, damn.
Yeah.
Because
Blue Street.
I wanted her to do it.
Blue Street.
No, you didn't.
I know what you
No,
mean.
hold on. No, you didn't. This is what happened. This script comes to me, and I read it, and it's funny, and I go and I meet with, I think it was the producer of this film, and we meet and we have breakfast, and he was basically like, I want you in this movie. Which character do you like? I'm thinking of this actress for this person, this actress for this person, but like out of these characters, like where would you see yourself playing? Like who would you see yourself playing? And read the script and, tell me what you think. Like he wanted me in this movie. And so I read the script, and at the time I was real like, here's my flag in the ground. This is where I am like, I'm not crossing this line. These are my boundaries, and a little conservy, And there was a lot of dick jokes in this movie. And there was this one scene where the girl was like in the shower with her boyfriend in college dorms or whatever. And I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those type of movies. Like, I don't want to do it. Like all my Christian, like triggers were going off, and I was like, no, this is not of the Lord. This is not for me. So I ended up passing and saying, the script was really funny, but I don't think it was for me. And I pass on this film. You want to know what movie this was?
What was that?
Pitch Perfect.
No.
Oh,
They
man.
had three of them.
And there's no scene. And they cut that scene out.
They cut it.
They didn't put that scene in there, did they?
No.
They
The
cut the
scene's
out.
still there. It
But
just
it's not-
wasn't.
it
It
wasn't
wasn't what I
salacious.
thought. It wasn't salacious at all. It wasn't what
It was straight PG-13.
I thought.
Wow.
I made it something that it wasn't, because I was thinking I was doing the right thing of like, oh no, I'm not crossing these boundaries. Instead of like, one, I'm not saying it's not good to have boundaries. It's good to have boundaries, but it's also good to have discernment and taking each project one by one. There's no handbook for a blanket. You can say this, you can't say that. So it's all, each one is different. But, I didn't do it. So it wasn't for me, I guess. In the bigger picture, God knew I wasn't going to do it, but the opportunity was there for me to do it. And then it was the second part 2 came out, and then part 3, and I was like, oh my God, why did I do that? But
It did change the way we looked at scripts from here on
It
out.
did. It
because
changed.
Now whenever, because typically what she would do is she would have me read it or tell me the concerns that she has on certain things. And I remember that one, and I was like, I get it. I get that it's, I get that it can be viewed as whatever. But my thing with her is always, what is the story saying? I don't care if you do this. I don't care if you do this. If the story at the end of the day is a message that you don't mind promoting, because you could do a character and you could play a hooker, and there's going to be sex scenes and there's going to be whatever. But what is the story? Like, what happens with this story? Is it uplifting? Is it encouraging? Is it inspirational? Is it just a true story that maybe it makes you look bad? Like, nobody wants to play a racist in a movie. Nobody wants to play Hitler in a movie. Nobody wants to play these things, but somebody got to play them. And if you now
I'll play him.
Yeah, like paint me white, I'll play. But at the same time, so now we're like, okay, when you look at a script, always say yes. Like, not always say yes before no, but at least give it a shot, because if somebody will fall in love with you, kind of like what you were talking about, your audition for Jingle All the Way, who knows what they were looking for, but you went in and you changed their mind, to which they're like, we need that guy. And if it takes slightly rewriting this scene, like, cool, because we want this guy, so now that's kind of like our thing of, let's see how far we can go, try everything that you like.
Yeah, they tested you.
What happened?
So what have you learned, Angela? Know what you do? You say yes, and then when the movie comes, I'm not getting in that shower.
Yeah.
See, I've learned for something like that. Yeah, okay, I can do that. And then when I get the movie, I ain't doing it.
yeah.
No, I'm like this. I can make this fun. I can get around it. Oh, I thought you were going to be. I thought I was in a bathing suit. See, because once they get to know you, I'm like this. If I know I get them to know me,
Exactly.
Then 'cause especially if it's comedy. If it's drama, we can't do it. We say yes, you know. But if it's comedy, man, there's never been a comedy where nakedness was needed. There's not one comedy. That's a pervert director. We got a lot of directors just perverts. They think that's funny having a naked girl run back like American Pie and those kind of movies. They act like, oh, we're pushing the boundaries. No, man, you like looking at naked girls. Let's get something straight, bro.
Yeah.
There's a lot of strange people out in this business.
Yeah.
But some movies like that, I'm like this. Yeah, I ain't gonna do that. Because I used to say it up front, and my boy used to say, man, don't say that now.
Right.
Just get there. I said, oh, all right, but then y'all get mad because I did that once when I got there. So I'm not gonna play the character like that. I'm not playing like a stupid brother because I'm not a stupid brother.
Yeah.
I said, oh, did you know you was writing him stupid? I put it back on them. Oh. So you need a stupid brother? No, Sinbad, we're not saying. So you want me to play the stupid? No, we didn't say. Oh, thank you. Like, okay, Cherokee Kid, the cowboy movie I did. That wasn't a black cowboy movie. That was HBO for Martin Lawrence.
Oh.
That was a project for Martin. I think Martin turned it down. So when I got it, it was supposed to be more like crazy and funny like Martin would do it. I said, I'm a black cowboy. I had horses. I love horses. I said, I'm going to make this a black cowboy movie. So I rewrote it, but I put these names in, but they didn't know these were black cowboys. So when it came time to cast, I said, you know these are black cowboys, right? He said, what? I said, you know there's black cowboys, right? But HBO couldn't like, oh, he got us. So they got mad at me and said, well, we need, I said, tell me, you need a white guy. Just say it. Say it in my face. We need a white guy. We need a white guy. That's okay. It ended up being Burt Reynolds, but they threw all these other people at me. They gave me a list of people. But Burt Reynolds is the coolest white. He's half Cherokee. Cool. Burt Reynolds is the coolest dude in the world. So I kept going, listen, man, I don't want Burt Reynolds, because I know if I said that, man, I don't want Burt Reynolds. You're going to take Burt Reynolds. I said, okay, I'll take Burt Reynolds. And I learned the game is to act like you don't want something out here. To get the thing that you want, you act like you don't want this other thing. Because there are children out here, and they're not really creative people. There's no really creative people left hardly in this game, in the business. They're just business people. They're looking at dollars and cents. That's why they always find a trend 2 years after. They start talking about twerking. Twerking was done. And by the time executives find something out here, it's been done in our community. It's over. All of a sudden, they think Miley Cyrus created twerking.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to find our way. We have to find our way. I said, like I said, but there are some things, like you said, Angela, I ain't going to do. And I said, I'm not doing that. And they test you. I said, man, it doesn't have to be the way. I would love to do this movie. And you even come up with another way to do the character. No. You need to do it like this. Okay, there's some movies I have to be honest with. That's an important part of the movie. I said, well, do it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that, so I guess I'm not the guy for this. I said, but can I be his best friend? Can you write his best friend in? I'll be his best friend.
Right.
I'll take half the money and be his best friend. They said, there's no best friend. I'm trying. Just trying to find a part. So I look back at all the stuff, man. And then some things never got offered to me because being a clean comic, I hated that word. I hated clean comic. I hated it. I didn't come up with it. When I'm on the road, nobody called me clean. Nobody, because I was so crazy. They said, does he cuss? I don't know if he cusses. Because I used to cuss at the beginning. You know, but I changed. My dad came to my show, preached. I just cleaned it up for that show. And then I said, well, man, I can get away. I just do it this way. Because I said, I'm more insane than other comics I know that's cussing. When I got to Hollywood, when they get a black comic or black actor, okay, where's his black? Is he a good black man or is he a bad black man? Is he the nice black man or is he the gangster black man? And so they put me in a nice black man box, but then they had meetings with me and go like, uh-oh, we put him in the wrong box. So when they had meetings with me, I became, oh, he's hard to deal with. And this is what they call hard to deal with. Me going like, hey man, I think I can write that different and not go the way you want, that typical black way. I said, because I said, I like my guy, you know, from this movie. I'm quoting other movies, they're like this. We don't see it that way. And then I would go like this. And so me being me, I said, so how do you see it? And then they started talking. I said, that's stupid. And what'd you say? I said, that's stupid. Did you just say that was stupid? And I look in the room, I think I said it was stupid. And then my brother, who's my manager, just looked at me. Where are we lost? Yeah. And I walk outside, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Mark. I had to say, I can't. I'm not gonna sit in there and smile at people. I'm not doing that.
Man, but we talked about it. No regrets though, yeah? Like because at least you can live with all the decisions you said.
No. Dude, I'm you know what? I'm good. Because I really believe, I was sitting up, when I had my knee replaced, and this was 2010. I'm sitting in the living room watching TV, and I said, okay, God, am I done? I said, why'd you make me funny? Why'd you give me all this talent? It's like being LeBron James, but you sit in the bench. I said, why would you give me the skills and then not let me use them? And then Joel Osteen came on with his little smiley face. And I'm watching TV. He said, I know, he's like this. You can be. So I'm like, he said, God will stop the sun. He will turn time back. I said, okay, I get it. I get it. I'm worried about time. I'm worried about age. I'm worried about the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. I'm worried about something. I'm trying to be worried about something I can't control. And God said, I'll stop the sun. I will turn time back for you. Mm. Your job is to be, you know what your job is? To be faithful. And prayerful and believe and try to find the direction you're supposed to go in. And you know what? And not be so pious with it, but have some fun with life. That's, I think, why a lot of people don't want to be Christians now. This is the first generation that almost turned away from God because they're seeing all people talking about God but doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Man, if they see you having fun, even when, during this whole pandemic, people are like this, oh man, the world. I said, man, I'm having fun. I ain't got to go to work. I mean, yeah, I'm making less money, but I don't have to go to work. I like out there scrounging, trying to find gloves. I like that Walking Dead feel. It's like a warrior. My wife comes back, I found toilet tissue, I found this. We're like warriors, man. This at the end time, we gonna make it. Plus, I know which one of my neighbors are weak. We'll take this.
We'll take their stuff. That's funny. That just made me look around our neighborhood. Like,
Check out, they think you're friends. Look around, think you're trying to be friends. Ain't got no alarm. They don't have a dog.
They don't got no alarm. That sign's fake. ADT, that was free. That came in the mail.
Everybody got ADT sign with some bushes over it.
You know, one of the common themes that I'm hearing is just like, you have gotten beyond this place of the illusion of you having control from the beginning. We were even talking about this last night with some friends of like, when you really think about it, the stuff that you actually have control over, you really don't at all.
Nothing.
Like, nothing really.
Nothing.
So the place that you can get beyond that, that's where you start coming into that faith zone. And again, everything you're saying, I even loved your description of what faith is, holding on to that slippery rock, you know?
Yeah, man.
And I think too, even just this whole season for me, I'm really realizing, like, even to a deeper level, like, man, I don't really got control of nothing.
No, you don't.
And so going back to Manny, it's like, man, I either trust God or I don't. He can do it or he can't do it at all. And he's either God or he's not, you know?
it's this thing. This time is, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm going back to the beginning. At 63 years old, I'm going back to when I first came to Cali. You know, I told God, tell me when to turn left. I came out here. I told people, I don't know where it's going, but it's going somewhere. And my whole thing was based on faith. But you have a little success, and sometimes your prayer changed. Man, when you broke, God, if you just be with me, we don't have any food in the house. You are. But doing that, you get more food in the house, more cars. To be like, just God, I'm a little tired. I'm gonna pray better tomorrow, but I'm a little tired tonight. He's like this. Oh, I need to take something from him. He forgot.
Yeah.
He was. That's why if you can maintain that in wealth, if you can maintain, I love Christians who are rich, who still maintain a level of philanthropy and doing great things. I said, that's what I look at now, not rich people. I look at rich Christians. And I said, look at his spirit, man. His cup is refilled because he keeps giving it away. It's like God keeps putting more in the cup and he gives that away. And God puts more. He goes, God, I don't need no more. Now I'm going to give you some more because he gives it back. And, you know, we ain't supposed to whine as Christians, man. We can't be whiners. If we whine, there's no hope.
Yeah.
If you in the boat and you're a Christian and everybody freaking out and they look at you, man, I don't know what we're going to do. Oh, we dead. He got direct line to God. He's scared. I'm like this. We about to swim. I said, and I can't swim. What? We about to swim. And I can't swim. Well, if Sinbad said we're going to swim, we're going to swim.
Yeah.
And that's how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be that light. Like, I can't curse the darkness. Like this pandemic, I can't curse this darkness. We got 5 senses. I'm going to use up the 4 for a while until the light comes back. If it comes back, you haven't played this question. We keep acting like June, July. No, they cancel the NBA. They cancel stuff. Dude, what if this is... My wife read something. It's interesting. That wrote The Cross and the Switchboard by Nikki Cruz. Said there become a time of darkness where no one would go outside, where the false gods will be exposed. I said, the awakening. This might be the awakening. And if it only lasts for 2 weeks, we don't learn nothing. Americans don't learn nothing. Humans don't learn anything. This go a couple more months. You're gonna have to go like, man, hey. What do we do here?
Yeah.
What really changes? You really got to have faith. And the only people that make this, because like I said, Billy Blanks at the sign wall said, to do the impossible, to do the invisible, you got to do the impossible. You know, that's how it works. You can't see it. If you can see it, you know it's not faith. If I can see the end point, I think sometimes we shortchange God so he don't give you nothing. God, if you just give me that was nothing. That's all you wanted? I give you nothing. You got to push it so hard that it makes no sense. You got to push it so hard, which means during this pandemic, I will always have food.
Like, I know we're always going to have food. I might have overabundance, but I will have enough until the next week when we go shopping. Give me enough to make it, and if I can give to somebody else that's going through something, hand me a little bit extra, and I'll make sure I get extra to somebody else. That's what it's about. Some people went off and bought islands. One rich family bought an island. I hope that virus jumps right on that island. I'm not saying anybody dies. I just want that. I just want to show that you can't hide from this. People ran out to the Hamptons. They were now the banks had to limit how much they were taking cash out. They were taking $30,000, $40,000 at a time, so they limit. You only could take $10,000 cash out because they thought, you think your money can protect you? COVID-19 don't know you.
Damn, that's so.
It is what it is.
It's definitely a great equalizer because I realize I always tell Ange this. I'm like, babe, we have money, but we don't have long money. There's people that can outlast 3 years of a coronavirus. We are not those people. And so knowing the frailty of that, most people are not those people. Knowing the frailty of that, it has forced me into a place where, again, I cannot compromise. That I used to compromise my faith a lot because it was very performance based. As long as I was performing and I was getting rewarded for that performance, I thought I was blessed. So it was very much transactional. Then it got to a point where I got tired of my faith being up and down like a roller coaster, because if I didn't sell enough records, if I didn't get booked for this gig, if I didn't do this, then God wasn't there. And I'm like, this can't be real faith. This can't be the faith that I read about, because it's so fickle. And that's when God really showed me that it's like my new goal was, when I was in the group, was not to sell records or not to whatever. It was to finish a year without having to apologize to God for my lack of faith. That became my new goal, because at the end of every year, I would have to say, I'm sorry for doubting you, because you met all of my needs and I'm fine. But I did all this worrying, I did all this doubting you, I did all this lamenting for something that didn't happen. And then I have to go back to you and say, I am sorry for doubting you. I got tired of being that guy. So since that day, my new goal every year was, I need to be able to look back on my year and be like, Jesus, I don't have to say sorry. I have to say sorry for a lot of other things, like for my stupidity, but I am not going to apologize anymore for not having the faith to trust you, because I'm decades into this relationship that you've earned it. Like you've earned my loyalty and my lack of compromise. So even in this, and this is one thing I've been really proud of, fear and despair has been transiently going in and out of my life. Like when I'll read the wrong thing and it'll be like, ooh, or me knowing money now, knowing the concept of money, understanding it, I can see, okay, this person's going to outlast it. This person can outlast it. I'm not sure we can outlast it. If this goes the way this goes or this goes, I don't know if we can outlast it. I don't know if this is going to whatever. And it'll be like transient, like quick, less than a minute thoughts. And then I have to get them out of my head, because I'm like, he either can or he can't. I'm either going to trust in this big old house up on this hill to protect me, or I'm going to trust God. I mean, I just cannot do both, because I'm realizing now that all of these things can go, and they can go fast. So I think an uncompromised heart and knowing where you stand, knowing what you believe is the only way we can make it through.
It kind of reminds me of what you were saying about how the prayers change, and from when I first moved out here and I had no money to pay my rent, buy groceries, whatever it was Top Ramen, it was Cheerios. And, at that time, going through that season, being so connected with God, because like God was all that I had, and then gaining some success and some financial freedom, and then not being in that place of need to survive alters your relationship with God and how you communicate and all of that kind of stuff. And I remember when my prayers started shifting, and I used to pray this all the time: God, I just want to be desperate for you without being in a desperate situation. I was trying to get around the loopholes. I'd be like, Lord, I want to be desperate for you, but I don't want to be hungry again.
I don't want to be poor again to know that you will satisfy my need.
It's like, God, that's a bad look for you. I'm a strong Christian. If I go hungry, that's a bad look for you. I don't want to be a bad look for you.
You're going to lose some followers, Lord.
Help me show the others that you can walk this path and have the big house and have 5 cars. If you could do that, I can give this back to you.
Lord, help me, help you.
Help you, help me. Help me, help you. Help me, help us.
Jesus. That's so true, though.
I'm lucky at 60. I tell you something. There's something about aging. You just, let's say, health is everything. If you could just get old and have wisdom, not be broke down, so you can use your wisdom and walk in different ways. That's okay, God. I owe it to you to eat right. I owe it to you to be in shape. You gave me this. And even, I don't get mad about hey, Brad, I don't get care about my knee replacements. I was a baller, man. I love playing basketball. It didn't go pro. I wasn't even built to go pro. I had bad knees from day one. You couldn't tell me I wasn't going to do this. Say, okay, I'm going to take your knee out. I said, man, you ain't going to take my knee out. I'm going to rehab it. He goes, man, you going to make me take your knee? He said, you had to take my other knee. He said, well, I'll take your other knee. So I had the challenge going. I said, okay. He said, and I'm going to take your back. I said, oh, not my back. Not my back. So I had the double fusion in the back. I said, okay, be still. And no, you're a guy. I don't have many body parts left. I got it. Just let me rehab these things that you left me with. I'll go out there. This will be my thorn like Paul, my limp. Let this be what I use. And I look back now, I said, being an athlete was the best thing that happened to me, even though it was the worst 4 years of my college career. I tell people those 4 years of my life, I don't really talk about, I talk about in jokes. And those who were with me said, dude, you were, I said, I was depressed, I was miserable, but I was happy when I wasn't playing ball. When I was just playing balls with the guys downtown Denver, when I was playing with Ralph Simpson, the pro basketball players, and man, you can go. And I go back to my college where they sit me on the bench. I found my victory in the real people. And then I found it transferred to comedy. My victory is with my fans. My victory is the people that I touch. My victory ain't what Hollywood going like, I think Sinbad's the next one. I don't care because y'all don't know what's hot or not. I told the guy once, my faith was so strong at the beginning. I came into the game. I said, dude, this dude said, I don't see you ever being a star. And I was sitting in his office. I said, you know what, man? You're going to give me a gig, and you're not even going to know why you gave it to me. He said, what? I said, you're going to give me a gig, and you're not even going to know why you gave it to me. Because you know nothing about God. Dude, a year later, he said, well, there must be something to this religion because I got this project they want you for. I said, don't it, man.
Won't he do it?
Man. Yeah, so I'm back to that. But I don't want to be that guy with all the slogans on my sweatshirt. I don't want to be that. There's so many, and these, I call them over God, these OG Christians. I just want to have a conversation. Man, what's up, man? Hey, guys, I'm a day above ground. Okay, I got it. Don't do all the scriptures. Don't do all of it. I got them. I got it. Unless you got something specific. You try and tell me. I don't need, you win. You win. You're more godly. You win. You're the champ. You got more scripture. Now, let's talk about life. I can't do that. I'm not good at that. I always said my dad, greatest man I know, when he approached people, he never overgot them. He said, now you want a cup of coffee? And I see guys, Reverend Atkins, you trying to go to church. He said, I ask you if you want coffee. And by the next conversation, the guy like this, all right, Reverend Atkins, I need to go to church. My dad said, I asked you if you want coffee. He won cats over by guys saying, what is it about you? What is that light about you? What is it about you? That's what I think a true Christian does. You walk in the room, they go, who's that? Because they hate you at first. There's too much light. I couldn't get it at first. And I tell young cats, it's going to be, when you're young, it's going to be hard because you're getting singled out because they hate the light. They want to put the light out. Because you don't see your light. You're the only one that don't see it. Everybody else sees it. You don't see it. So now you figure, I got to become something else because this ain't working for me. Now realizing that light is so bright, people try to put it out. But you don't see it when you're walking the right path because you got your problems, you got your insecurities. Even though you're smiling, your life ain't perfect. But your life being perfect is not necessary to enjoy life. I don't need my life to be perfect to be happy. I don't need everything to be right to be happy. I don't need to have the newest, best car to be happy. Do you want them? Yes. But do I need it to be happy? Like if I made, say somebody give me a movie right now. Somebody has $25 million. That did Netflix special. Somebody has $25 million. When I was 30, 40, ooh, I'm gonna get this. At 63, I'm like this. There's nothing else I would have. There's nothing I require other than my daughter dancer if I had to get her some stuff.
Yeah.
But there's nothing other than my wife. I said, I want to remodel the house. I want to remodel the house, finish it up, then we might go buy another house. Maybe if the interest rate is right and I can fake it on my TRW, I think we can make this work. But there's nothing I'd have to go out and buy. Nothing.
That's
I'm good.
beautiful. Bro, thank you so much for spending time with us, man. I really, really appreciate it. It's almost 2, so we got another podcast to get to. But
oh man, hey, you got things to do. Y'all got things to do.
Man, if you guys want, I'm gonna put all Sinbad's info. You probably already know it, but I'll put all his info underneath in the description. What did you say? Description? What is this? Oh, you want our benediction? Yeah, we're gonna do a benediction. I'm just saying bye. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys. Check out my music on all platforms, Manuel. And hey, go buy some merch. Help us keep this thing going. We truly appreciate you guys. We love you. And as we always say, we pray you find a seat at the table. But if you don't, you are always welcome at ours.